Yes, welcome to Man Knows Football with your esteemed host, man like Guni, man like Kelly Ken in the building, myself, Nath, Big Nate, H, whatever you want to call me, and that. Remember to hit the like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. And we're here today, of course, again with the man himself, Guni, the boss, and Kenny Ken, Arsenal legend himself, man. Let's get cracking, boys. What you saying? Tomorrow?
Yeah,
Uh, Kenny Ken, you said it was you predicted right the other day 2-2. I said 3-1. Ever the optimist. Yeah, I was wrong. He was right. So apologies. Let's get straight to it, man. Before we even get into it, tomorrow, what do you think? A win, a loss, a draw, score, all of that. Let's go.
well, one thing is that one of the things that that I think is prevalent with Arsenal Football Club is that teams now come to Arsenal to win. Doesn't matter where they
Yeah,
are on the table. Well, unless it's Norwich City, with the exception of Norwich City and probably Burnley, every team that's going to come to the Emirates is going to think, you know what, we got a chance of winning. Although Spurs were woeful and um, pathetic, and which was good for us. Crystal Palace, they sensed that after 20 minutes that Arteta was going to put men behind the ball, which he did. They had a few half chances, gave us a few warnings,
hmm
and in the second half, they managed to exploit the fact that we had one midfield against three of theirs, and they just
yeah,
exploit the places. They knew full well that Partey and Lakonga were going to basically work around static forwards, and that's exactly what happened. They got
yeah,
robbed, and then because our forwards were too in advanced position on the attack, they just ran into spaces. There was, I think, for the first goal, there was about a 2 and a 1, and the second goal was it a 3 and a 2, and Ben
yeah,
White, unfortunately,
yeah, yeah,
decided that he'd not to defend because if Ben White was outside the penalty box, you can understand him going off this player because you always say that, jockey, don't make the tackle, let him make the first decision. But when it's in your box, you have to make a tackle because
yeah,
you have to make a tackle, especially when if it's a situation where the guy's kicked the ball forward and he's running at you, then sometimes you don't make a challenge. But when he's a situation when he's static, you have to engage. You have to engage. If not, make the tackle, then make the proper block, a genuine block. Don't just go, oh yeah, and boom, right, yeah, the guy picks his spot. And that's the
You know
same for
what?
defending.
I think the same. You're spot on. I think the same goes for Gabriel as well. I think
Mm,
for the first goal, I think he could have got just a tiny bit. Just he
mm,
dropped off a little bit, and obviously it just opened that gap, and then Benteke
mm.
obviously scored it. But no, you're spot on. You're absolutely spot on about why. It's annoying because you go 1-0 up, and I think a lot of us were thinking, yeah, you know what, we'll go and get the second. Because I was thinking, right, we get a second goal now. I think that should do it. There was no Zaha, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But how wrong I was, man. We got the goal, and like you said, there was a different team, especially the start of the second half. They was just a different team, man. We had absolutely nothing in midfield.
All it was just two yards, just 2 yards. They just went 2 yards faster
Yeah,
and got in amongst us. And then they realised that they were playing a team that was on the back foot.
yeah,
Because if you look at us compared to Man United yesterday, even though Man United were woeful defensively, and they basically left Fred and McTominay to on their with a spare man all the time. The thing is
hmm
that with their forwards, they actually moved
yeah,
into spaces where they could hurt the opposition. And
yeah.
the passing they used wingers, they put crosses in from the byline, and they hurt teams. But Arsenal, we don't seem to do that, even though we seem to have like Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Pepe, Aubameyang, Saka, and then he
Yeah,
brings on Lacazette. These
you
are
know what?
attacking players, and yet
Yeah,
we can't attack.
you just would not have known it from that performance on
Mm,
Monday, bar Smith Rowe. I think Pepe was absolutely poor. Mitchell had him in his pocket for the whole game, pretty much,
mm.
man. I know he assisted
Except
both
for
goals.
Aubameyang's goal.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then you could have obviously the second goal as well to a degree, but he was poor. Odegaard, like it just, you're right. You on paper, you look at that, and we should be doing a lot more going forward than we are at the moment, man. Again, you take that Tottenham game out, and going forward, we've been really poor this season, man. It's not been. It really ain't. It ain't done it, man. It's going to be interesting tomorrow because obviously Saka. I know Arteta. I don't know if you saw today, but I think he's out for tomorrow,
Oh,
mate. I
definitely,
would love,
definitely.
yeah,
It's the Saka situation is that I've seen situations where they haven't been sending off because I think MacArthur's gone through with a shot, gone through with a shot or whether you want clearance, and
clearance. Yeah,
Saka was too quick for him. He's caught him, but
yeah,
all intents and purposes, it's dangerous play. With regards, I think in Europe, there's no such thing as accidental. You raise your
yeah.
studs, and the player gets injured. It's a sending off, automatic
Listen,
sending off.
it's dumb because had he not have been on a yellow card, I think he would have got a yellow card.
Mm.
So it's just the ref pussying out of it because, again, of course, it wasn't intentional, but that's another yellow card, man.
Oh yeah,
It's a
definitely.
yellow card. He should have been off. Simple as. But
I think
yeah,
I think Dean got caught up with the thing, and it was a very British and English thing for Dean to do. But if you saw the game the day afterwards, Liverpool and Atletico, Griezmann
oh
on
God, yeah,
on Firmino,
yeah,
accident, but
yeah,
he's raised his studs.
yeah,
It's high boot. It has to
yeah,
be in Europe. They send you off.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. For instance, Wan-Bissaka,
yeah.
mistimed his challenge, but because his studs were up like that, he's got to go.
They
And
ended up overturning that one as well, though, innit?
yeah. But
Yeah,
European referees do not like studs. They don't like the over the top tackle. They've
yeah,
never liked it from even before. Even in the 90s, they hated the over top tackle. Never liked it. And I
yeah.
think
No,
that's where McCart. But Mike Dean, he's been punished. He's not going to be refereeing a game
this weekend.
this weekend. So the FA feel that Mike Riley feel that he's made a bad decision. But let's face it, Crystal Palace on the day were the better side.
They were better than us. We were
Mm.
lucky to get a point, if we're being real. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
look,
They
fuck
ran
it,
out of
man.
steam.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Again, was lucky to get away with a point. But moving forward, tomorrow. Now, I don't obviously the last year or two, especially because they've done us over, and then obviously the old Martinez
Three times in a
situation.
row. 3 times in a row.
Oh, three, yeah,
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 because
yeah.
remember that in lockdown they beat us 1-0, and then
1-0,
they beat us home and away.
3-0. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. And then, like I said, you had a little bit of the old Martinez spice who can't stop talking
Definitely.
about us. A little bit of a rivalry with us and them
Well,
on
I think
Twitter as
with
well.
Martinez is that one of those things is that
He's hurt.
oh yeah, he was hurt because I think what's happened is that he probably felt he did enough to warrant a chance at the first team, because I think it's that ironic that he didn't get his chance as the number one, yet the guy who's come in to who refuses to be our number two has come
Yep,
in and grabbed the number one
yep,
shot with both fans. He's thinking, well,
yeah,
hang on here. I produce probably slightly better performances than this guy, and I
yeah,
was
yeah,
allowed to be number one. This guy
yep,
has just shown a presence, and
yeah,
he's got the number one. But I think what it was is that in terms of like Leno, I think Arteta clearly doesn't want association in those first 3 games of the season. He doesn't want association. Balogun can't get a game.
yeah. I
Martinelli
know, man.
can't get a game.
Spanish.
And
Yep,
Leno got dropped. So it's one of those things where sometimes, if teams get battered like we did in the first, few games, even though Leno wasn't at fault, the casualty always is the goalkeeper, because they fit the goalkeeper. They want their
yep,
goalkeeper who's going to, how do I say it in layman's terms, someone who may not be the best goalkeeper in the world, but they fit the best goalie in the world, and they exude confidence throughout the
yeah. You've
defence
got to
and
have
other
that
parts of the
confidence,
team.
a bit of arrogance. Yeah, no,
Mm.
I agree. And obviously Martinez has that. Again, Ramsdale surprised me. He's coming with that as well. But I think in hindsight, yeah, it was the wrong decision, obviously, to get rid of him and keep Leno, man. It's not that I think Leno is a bad keeper, but Martin is a better keeper than Leno, man. And I wouldn't.
It is. I think the thing with Burn is that, again, is his presence really. His presence. I think there was a few games last season when you looked at it and you thought, you know what, he's a good goalkeeper, a great shot stopper, but is he a number one? And I think what Arsenal need is a number one. And
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fans who, when we bought Rams, I said, why? He's been involved in relegations. But
I was one of them.
I don't blame you for doing it, but you know what it is that one thing that attracts me to the signing was his attitude. That his
Yep.
attitude is that he was his attitude was, you know what, I deserve to be number one, and I come here to be the number one, and I come
Hmm.
here to be the best player of the club, and nothing's getting in my way. And I thought, you know what, thank you, that's brilliant because you want players who are hungry, you want players who want to play for Arsenal for the right reasons, i.e., to be the best in their position. And he feels from if he's this hungry, then it only benefits Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And like I said, he's impressed me, man. I think he's got to be on the ball tomorrow. I think he might be a bit busy. I think
Oh,
that might be
Aston Villa,
yeah.
Aston Villa. I think with Aston Villa, the thing is that they are going to cut the win. But if you look at the options they have, you know, if you look at left back, they've got Target and quietly had an excellent season for them last season. You've got Matt Cash, a gooner, but he marauders down the right back situation. You've got Kyron Mings playing good for Concert, ex Tottenham, the Tottenham
Yeah,
fan as well. And then
yeah,
you've got Martinez. But if you look at the midfield as well, they've got a very strong midfield base as well. Buendia, a player who we wanted went there, and then you've
yeah.
got
There's a
Danny
few
Ings.
subplots tomorrow, man. Yeah, yeah,
Danny Ings
yeah,
and Watkins. Every manager, particularly Arsenal managers and Spurs managers, thinking, why don't we go for Danny Ings? Why?
That's a good plan, man. I like Danny Ings, but I mean, well, it's a bit too late for it. I wouldn't want to go for him now, but yeah, maybe a couple of years ago. You know what I think it is with him? I
Mm.
think after he left Liverpool, I don't think any of the big teams wanted to take that gamble.
Yeah, because of his knees, isn't it?
Yeah, they didn't want to take that gamble, but yeah, listen, he proved himself at Southampton. So, yeah, no, fair play to him, man. Let's just hope he has a quiet one tomorrow. I know by
Watkins has only scored once this season, hasn't he? He only scored his first goal was at Tottenham last week, wasn't it?
yeah, well, you've just given the kiss of death now, haven't you?
I
Yeah,
have, isn't it? I have.
yeah,
Because
because
he
what
had
he
a
scored
great
was it
game
one
against
or
us,
two?
didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, last week was it the 3-0? He scored 1 or 2 in it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
he
and
scored.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
linked with us as well, obviously along with Calvert Lewin. So potentially an audition tomorrow.
Mind you, they murdered stand our right hand side at the Emirates with
Yeah,
Bartley, Grealish,
yeah, yeah,
Target and Watkins. No
yeah,
Grealish, no Bartley's got at Chelsea. Grealish is at Man City.
yep. Yeah, but it'll still be a tough game. Obviously, Bailey's back in the squad.
You know what? I
I
forgot
wouldn't be,
about him.
yeah, nah, he's back in the squad. Obviously, he's not really got going fully yet. His injuries have been a bit stop-start for him, but obviously we saw against Everton a couple of weeks ago what he can do off the bench. So it'll definitely be one to watch tomorrow. It's going to be a tough game, man. It's going to be a
Ben
tough
White's
game.
going to be very interested in that. He's going to have to be in his best performance, isn't it?
He is, because Danny Ings is very street smart. You know what I mean? He's got great movement in the box. He can score from outside of the box. So yeah, him and Gabriel, they're gonna have a handful tomorrow with Watkins. But again, it's about what we can do. We've got to give them problems as well, man.
Mm.
Like I said, too many times we've played them in recent times, and you know what? Yeah, the level of performance has been poor, man. And I think if you're adding in what happened on Monday, I think we need a reaction tomorrow, man, because that just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough.
I 100% agree with you, and I think that's the thing with Arsenal is that I think under Mikel Arteta's stewardship, especially last season, if you take off the tail off the like Project Restart, there was some bad performances.
Hmm.
Man City away got battered, and then
Mm.
you had the 2 games in the FA Cup where we did fantastically well, beat Liverpool in between that as well, and then you start the season, everyone's happy. You started well against Fulham, got the victory at Old Trafford, but I think what you've seen with Arteta is 2 steps forward and a few back. Like after the victory at Old Trafford, that's when we went on a bad run, and then we
Yeah.
beat Chelsea, and then we did Monetary okay, and then we
Okay.
go
Yeah.
on a bad run again. Losing out to Everton, losing out to Liverpool, struggling to beat Fulham, going out against Villarreal, and I think that's the problem with Arteta is that it's strong inconsistency, and a lot of that is to do with his tactics.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Again, there's no clear way that he wants to play. I don't think he fully knows his strongest 11. I think he's got a solid 8 that he knows. But I think, yeah, the Pepe thing's becoming a bit of a problem. I just don't think he knows I just don't think he knows
You see,
what he
with
wants to do.
Pepe, is that Pepe is our most naturally gifted footballer in terms of raw
Just natural
ability.
ability. Yeah, yeah,
Your
yeah.
raw ability. You'd think that a player of his ability, if he could develop by this time in his first season, he should be getting 15 or 20 goals for us because
Yep,
naturally he has good pace. He attacks the box. So
yep.
you know you look further in the box. He reminds me a bit of Florin Malouda. He used to play for
Yeah,
Man
yeah,
Knows Football's
yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah.
And when Florin Malouda first went to Chelsea, it was a slight development where he divided opinion, scored a few goals in his second season, and the third season when they won the double,
Mm-hmm.
he was a prominent figure in that team. And I think
Yeah,
Pepe does remind me a lot of Florin Malouda in that respect, because he's another player that I thought was naturally gifted as well.
just a bit frustrating. I think
Yeah,
what kills Pepe is, and he's not the first, he's certainly not going to be the last player, but it's the price tag, is it? If he was a 20,
yeah.
30 million good player, no one really bat an eyelid. I
Yeah,
think it's
but
because he comes with
you
a
look
hefty
at it
price.
though. You look at
Yeah,
Pepe.
yeah,
You look at Pepe. You look at the forward line. Front three. We spent 60 million on Bamiyang, about 52 on Akazet. We spent 72 on Pepe.
hmm
You would think you look at
yeah,
it and you think, well, that's a forward line where these are players who have been bought for a lot of money. They came
yeah,
with big reputations,
yep,
and you think that you always imagine Pepe with a Tuchel or Klopp or a high level manager than Mikel, and thinking, well, you can stay with a lot of confidence that those kind of managers will get a tune out of that front three. I
yeah,
still think that it's one of the biggest mismanagements in football history that Arteta can't get the best out of that expensive front line. I don't get it.
yeah. And it's a shame now as well because if we're being honest, that front line, well, at least two of them, pretty much at the end of the cycle. I don't think Laka's going to get offered a new contract. So
Yeah, it's a token gesture in it. They're talking about giving a new contract, but like Faisal, that's a token gesture, and
I don't even think he'll sign it. To be honest, I think he might want a fresh challenge. So I think he'll
yeah.
be off. Ober's what 32 now. I know there was toying with the idea at one point of obviously Martinelli up top, but I know his preference is on the left. So, and like you said earlier,
Arteta had Martinelli playing like Jason Wilcox when he came on. You know what I mean?
remember,
Jesus Christ. Martinelli plays his best football attacking the middle from the
yeah,
left forward. Yet he said, "Oh, go and be my Jason Wilcox." He
yep,
didn't even hit the box. He was asked to put crosses in and trying to get down the byline,
yeah.
which is not what we wanted him to do.
No, again, I would love to see him start tomorrow, but I just can't see it. I think if anything, he might shunt Smith Rowe to the left, push Odegaard forward, and then start Sambi.
Well, could do, yeah, could do. But I
Yeah,
think Pepe starts. But one of the
yeah,
biggest
Pep will
reasons
have
why
to start.
Pepe wasn't getting games even was because Saka was playing on the right hand side, and Smith Rowe was shouting out to the left. But he's given Pepe a chance because I think he probably showed a little bit against Brighton just before the international break, and I think he wants to give a chance. But I still think that Pepe, with his quick feet, his natural ability, is more like does tend to scare defenders more than
Oh no, he's a
the
threat.
established players. But
He's
he's
a threat.
consistent.
He's and again, I like Pepe. I like Pepe, man. When he's on the ball, yeah, he's quality. But like you said, it's that word again, and it's the inconsistency, man. But
You
I
know
would
what?
start him tomorrow
I
as
think
well.
if you look at players like Pepe and the Maloudas and I even say John Barnes when he played for England, players like that are only going to do if you're dominant in possession and you're always on the front foot. The players like that are going to play good football. You know,
Yes,
you look at Man City players. Players like Sterling, Grealish, Bernardo
Mahrez.
Silva,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Foden, you know, you know, Mahrez. You know,
Mhm.
you say they're playing for teams that don't have enough. The majority of possession and don't play on the front foot or try to get numbers forward. They'll probably be having indifferent form, but you put players like Pepe in Man City smashes it because Man City are on the front foot all the time and
Yeah,
they get bodies
yeah.
forward. So
hmm
I think until we have situations where we're dominating possession, you probably ain't going to see the best of Pepe in an Arsenal shirt, and this is
Yeah.
where maybe a change of manager comes in where Arsenal play, a more attacking style of play on the front foot, and you would see better performances from players like Pepe.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think? Because I think for this season, as an absolute minimum, none of that Nations League stuff. Absolute minimum has to be just getting back into the Europa League.
Well,
Right?
I think what will happen is it would probably give Arteta some sort of respite because Arsenal, a lot of fans are thinking, well, like it's a good thing we're out of Europe. We could concentrate in the league because Leicester did it in 2016 and Chelsea did it in 2017 when they didn't add no European football. But but Arsenal's a bit different. Leicester had a new boss in 2015-2016 season, fresh ideas, and Chelsea had fresh ideas in 2016-2017 season. So two Italian managers, Ranieri and Conte. So, fresh approach, boom, boom, get your ideas going. No European football to distract you. No, run of games. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Thursday, Sunday. It was a case of, one game a week to get his ideas across. And sometimes it works, but we've got a manager who's stale.
But this is why he can't have any excuse. Listen, when he came, was it in that December? Like, obviously, he was already struggling in the league. Cool, whatever. You won us the FA Cup, lovely.
With Unai Emery's team.
Yeah, exactly. Last season, you could say, oh yeah, Corona, but everyone had to deal with that. But fine, cool. So this season, first full season, fans back and all that, there should be absolutely no excuse. And like I said, with no European football as well. But we're still not seeing any distinct way of play and tactics. And again, listen, man, fans are fickle. We all are. If we go and win the next couple of games, we ain't going to be talking about this. But I guess
without a shadow of doubt, the thing about it is that it's easy said and done. I think normally with fans are like that, but I think what's happening right now is that the fans have got used to it. The 2 steps forward and 5 steps back, starting by Arteta. And for someone like me, his cards are up. There's no more chips on the table for him. I want him replaced. I've wanted him for a long time, and I think what it is because you kind of know how Arsenal are going to play.
Yep.
It's the extent that he doesn't know his best lineup. So if he doesn't know his best lineup, then he isn't going to have a clearer style of playing football. And that is his biggest bugbear is that, the experienced managers and the sort of forward-thinking managers play to the strengths of the squad they have available. David Moyes is the most negative manager out there, but at West Ham, he's intelligent enough to know that he has to play on the front foot because of the players he has. He's got players like Mikel Antonio, although he did start the day. He's got Mikel Antonio. He's got
3-0 win for him today as well.
He's got Bowen, who's an attacking player. He's also got players like Lanzini. He's got Fornells, all players who are on the front foot play attacking football. He's got a midfielder who basically goes from box to box and gets your goal here and there. So he can't be anything other than, like playing to their strengths. Arteta he seems to play, tries to shoehorn all his attacking players in the team, like, with the exception of Lacazette, Bamian plays, sometimes Pepe plays, but Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe play. Yet he's not playing attacking football when he's shoehorned them in the team. What's he trying to do?
I think he's just struggling to find that balance because he has shored up the defence over the last season or so. Obviously, last season our defensive record was great, pretty much. I think he's just not found that balance of obviously attack and defence. And I'm not saying that we're too defensive because I don't even think it's that. It's just when we go forward, there just isn't. Are we counter-attacking?
And that's the thing.
Are we?
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
I think what's happening is that you're selling it in spurts as well. I'm not saying you do it for 90 minutes, but sometimes, right, with the exception of the Spurs game, and even with the Spurs game, it was like we caught them by surprise. It's like, they left the back door open and we just went boom, 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 and raided the kitchen.
Yeah.
But, if you look at other matches, it's one of the things where you start really well, and sometimes I used to say, well, Arsenal always start well in the first 10 minutes because they kicked off. It does look like that. And it looked like that. And then, like when we played Brentford away, we kicked off. And I thought, oh, God, we're back. And it clearly became a bit of a disaster when Brentford got their foot in. And I think we started really well against Crystal Palace. I thought we were really sharp. I thought, we were on the front foot, and then something went wrong. Something changed. The attitude changed. The manner changed. We decided to be conservative in the way we played, and that enabled Crystal Palace to just get the right in. Yeah, it was only when they upped the tempo, when they started to take control, because they knew we were being passive. And I still think that Mikel Arteta is a very passive manager. Don't get me wrong. There's proof we can play attacking football. We can take teams by surprise. But I think with Mikel, he does tend to live off that sometimes. And I think that's not healthy for the team, because, we beat Chelsea home and away last year. We beat one at Old Trafford. We beat Spurs. We had some good victories, but that only papers under cracks from all the other disasters he's had this season. Finishing 8th, which is not good enough for a football club, and it's highly likely if we played the same way under him, it could be 8th. Not, we finished 8th, but 2 games before the end of the season, we were in 9th place. And pushed for 10th.
Yes, outrageous, isn't it? Like, Arsenal should not be in the position we're in, but you know what, we are, and he's gonna have to figure it out, because, like I say, this can't continue, man. We are too inconsistent. You look at the first 3 games, 3 losses, come back from the international break, 3 wins and a draw, back from this international break, and another draw. Like, it's just patchy. It is patchy. So let's see what happens tomorrow, man. You got a prediction for that? You got a prediction for tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to
be
infuriatingly non-committal. I'm going to say 2-1, but I can't say who to, because it is that kind of game.
It is.
If you say Arsenal win 2-1, no one will be surprised, but we'll be delirious. We'll be very happy. But if we say, man, on current form and the way we're playing, you could say if Aston Villa win 2-1, no one's going to be surprised as well, because it's that kind of game where Aston Villa are going to, come to win. Whether they can sustain that pace for 90 minutes, we don't know. Crystal Palace were unable to sustain that intensity, and we managed to get a last-minute equaliser. We were kind of pushing for it anyway after where Crystal Palace brought some substitutes on. They brought on Kayose, and they brought on Tompkins as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just tell they thought, they shut up shop, and that enabled us to buy a ticket for the raffle.
Yeah.
And maybe we might have the same sort of situation where we get a last minute equaliser, because again, Aston Villa are probably thinking, right, let's just keep our points.
Yeah,
whether we like it or not, it's very hard away from home to sustain, that kind of performance, because the onus on the home team to always be on attack and to put pressure, because the crowds just won't, crowds at the Emirates just won't settle for anything else. They don't want a timid response to go down.
Crowds do help, obviously.
And Monday, our crowd helped on Monday, because I think some of them left before the end.
Yeah, it was flat. It was flat, man. Obviously, I was there. It was a bit. Meh. You know what though? I'm a big fan of Friday night games, man. So
tell me your Friday night. Are you talking about Leicester when we won 4-3, Liverpool when it was 3-3? What other Friday games you're going to tell me about?
All the way back to 2000 and was that like
2004 went on rewind when we beat Leeds 5-0
against Newcastle. No, we beat Newcastle, I think.
Oh, 3-2. Newcastle 3-2. What about the one at Highbury when we beat Leeds 5-0?
Was that Friday night?
4 goals.
That
was a Friday game, yeah. What a Friday lunchtime on Good Friday in 2004 when he tore apart Liverpool with a hat-trick.
Yeah, Thierry, man. That's the... Oh, man, yeah. Thinking of those sort of players, the time's gone by, but let's not get into that. I might start
Don't
crying.
worry, it'll get very depressing. But we all strive for the the Vieira days, the Vieira song. Remember that DVD, that CD when you had all the Arsenal songs and they had the Vieira song, on there as well.
Way boys, oh mate, yeah, man,
Those were the days.
The cold songs.
Those were the days. But we're saying like Liverpool now were before they won the league in 2020. The History Channel.
Yeah, it's true. That's a fact. Yeah, and now, yeah, exactly. You talk to Liverpool fans now, Deck. I know you're going to be watching this, mate. Who's obviously also on the channel as well. He acts like they weren't shit, but
the thing with Liverpool that pound per pound, if you talk about their first 11 and you include Jota as well, I think their bench is improving a lot because they've still got players like Thiago come back. Curtis Jones is finally.
Starting to
getting it. He's getting it. He's understanding. Jordan Henderson, although he doesn't play every game, he's still a useful tool. Diox occasionally is useful, although he's useful at times. Not always useful, but occasionally. And you've got James Milner. James Milner. Everyone talks about Wayne Rooney. They're both the same age, but everyone talks. No one talks about James Milner
because he's not glamorous, isn't it? That's all it is.
Not at all. But James Milner. All right, he hasn't won. He hasn't been won as much as Wayne Rooney because Wayne Rooney plays for Man United. But James Milner, Champions League, 2 league championships with Liverpool and Man City. He's had a fantastic career.
Yeah,
and he's still going strong.
Yeah. Let me ask you about that. Actually, just going back, rewinding a couple of seconds. Speaking about the Ox, obviously he was linked with him last week. What would you make of that potentially? Him coming back?
It doesn't work. It doesn't normally work. I think the thing about it is that Yox is only probably linked with us. His partner had a baby. I don't know if they're living around the sort of like Hertfordshire, London area. I know Yox probably still got a place down here as well. Yeah. So I suppose maybe it's for the potential school run, the definite school run as well. That maybe that's when he wants to come back. But in terms of Arsenal, he wasn't very much in a hurry to leave us to go to Liverpool. And he was proved right. Obviously, he wasn't.
Of course.
He's won trophies there. Whether he wasn't a catalyst for winning trophies, but he was involved around a squad that won things. You know what I mean? And he still got medals for being part of those situations. And even, let's face it, before he had his injury, he was part of Klopp's first team in 2018. He could have gone to the World Cup. So it wasn't that he's playing badly for Liverpool. It was injuries.
You know what? I'm not going to lie, man. And I always, as much as it pisses me off, and I'll go roundabouts with this, right? It goes back to Van Persie. Even to this day, he left and all that, but I love Van Persie. Absolutely fucking love him.
He's a top player.
Yeah, right. He left. And I 100% fully understand why he left. I think what riled up people was obviously the stupid statement he put, the boy inside me and all that bollocks. But if you just look at it,
in essence, he was right.
No, hey, listen, can't knock him. Listen, as much as we love Arsenal, we're fans. These players, they're not. It's a job for them. I get it.
Finally, it's so refreshing that you've said that because I'm not. And the reason why I say that is because some of these our fans, especially the younger ones, tend to put the players before the football club, and they tend to, like I've had people saying they won't support Arsenal because we got rid of Mesut Ozil because of some.
Don't start with the Ozil.
The Uyghur Muslims and that Arsenal were, and you're saying angrily, for a start, I've got the greatest respect for your religion, but let's face it. Mesut Ozil was jettisoned for the fact that he wasn't valued for money. It was nothing to do with his support with the Uyghur Muslims in China.
Yep.
And for Mesut Ozil to suggest anything else is just pure
you
folly
can't
and fantasy.
that with the Ozil fanboys. They're one of the worst on Twitter, man. They are.
Last week it was Mesut's birthday, and they were criticising the club for saying happy birthday to him.
No. I don't want to waste no more breath on them. But I can finish that point. I'm with Van Persie. I fully understand why he left, and he was vindicated doing it. With the Ox, same thing, man. So, and I was a big fan of the Ox. You know what I mean? He's very versatile, and obviously he's been shunted right back, shunted left wing, right wing, centre. Like, and again, he was vindicated. So I wouldn't.
What has happened?
I wouldn't take him back. But yeah, what's going on, man?
What's going on, people?
Nah, do you know what? My computer froze. I thought you lot.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro.
Where, mate? Where?
What did Freddie Mercury sing in one of his last songs? The show goes on, innit?
Yeah, I exited purposely because I thought we're gonna let the Arsenal fans talk about their club because I explained to them, I'm trying something different where like I want fans of their clubs to sort of have these conversations.
I'll tell you one thing, man knows football, man. If you're going to struggle to get Man City fans in to talk together because there's not many of them about, are there?
No, big facts, but that's the direction I'm trying to go down. So I'm trying to respect the fans and have the fans talk about their clubs because I feel me as a Chelsea fan, as much as I try not to have bias, there always will be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just how it goes, man.
No, they will. Yeah, no, it's true. You ain't gonna get no City fans, but.
The thing is that they're out there, but we just have to go to places in Manchester, North Manchester, and they're there because they're the diehards. They're out there, But I think with Man City fans, I don't think they seem to be upset with this. I think they seem to prefer going to playing Gillingham rather than playing Chelsea in Champions League finals. That's the impression I get Man City fans. They love their success, but they hate it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to get that impression about Chelsea fans as well, because I've got a lot of old school Chelsea who talk about the days when we went there. We used to go to Cardiff away. We used to take 20,000 Londoners. Blah, and I'm thinking, you just won. You've won every pot in world football. And you're talking about Chelsea, the good old days when you used to go to Cardiff away and take 20,000 of you. West Londoners down there.
There's too much money in the game now. It's ruined.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, man. Whatever in it. I love my team. I love football. It is what it is, isn't it? It's
definitely.
The game.
Don't get me wrong. We could talk about this all the time. Talk about the big match at 2:30 back in the day with Brian Moore or Jimmy Hill match of the day.
Bloody hell, mate. You're showing your age there a bit, mate. Fucking hell.
I was born in 1972, mate.
Fucking hell. All right. Yeah. No. Fine.
Anyway, guys.
Yeah, man. Pleasure, as always.
Pleasure always, right?
Nate, I'm going to let you do the outro, bruv.
Listen, man, as always, again, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Man knows football. Like, subscribe, share, tweet, Instagram, email, Gmail, WhatsApps. Yeah. Love, man.
That great stuff. Trust me, man. Yeah, man. Bless up everyone. Bless Kenny Ken. Thanks again, Nate. Good, you smashed it today. Both of you done a fantastic job. Smashed it, man. Appreciate it. Bless up to everyone watching as well.
Look after yourself, man. We'll speak soon.
Yeah, man.
Up the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal.
Oh, no, none of that.
Oh, sorry. So you feel left out, don't you? All right, see you later, brother.